This is my documentary about Dad's fruit trees. And I think he put these fruit trees out when they were real small, little cheap ones from Griffith's Nursery. I believe it was Norman Griffith over at Alum Springs, and they were real small about 20 years ago, like little $20 trees, leftovers. And well, it's been a chore. Of course, Mom mows under them all and picks up all the fruit. You have to pick up all the fruit, hits the ground, rots as soon as it hits the ground, and the flies take over and all. So you have to literally use a shovel at times and clean up all this fruit before you can even mow under them. And of course, sometimes she gets tons of fruit, but the frost, unbelievably, did not get them. This is a peach tree. And of course, you can't see it good with this camera, but it's really pretty. If it was a little better light. But there's 3 peach trees of the 3 different varieties. I don't know which one's best. I really don't know that much about them. I just know how to trim them. I need to top these pear trees. So there's 3 peach trees. There was a plum. It died a few years ago. I cut it up. And 4 big monster pear trees. These are actual fruit trees, not flowering. This is a big Foster holly. And then there's 4 apple trees, and they're different varieties. Mom's got them, or Dad drew a chart of what kind they were when he planted them. Now there's 5 apple trees. And they're all about 20 foot wide and 20 foot tall. And the interesting thing about it that I'll tell everybody is you have to get started way ahead of time, because Dad planted all these and we pruned on them and he mowed around them and dealt with it. And I think it was, let's see, he planted them all around 1999, I believe, or 1998, and they never had a single piece of fruit on them until the year he died. In 2013, they exploded and had a ton, like buckets and buckets and buckets full of perfect fruit. And that was the first time. So it took about 14 to 15 years from the little bitty sizes. But my reason for this low quality documentary is I'm thinking eventually an ice storm or something will take these out, and it'll chop them and beat them up so bad I'll have to cut them down, cut up some of them at least, or they'll just get old and I'll have to cut them down eventually in my lifetime if Mom keeps this place. But it's pretty neat. Sometimes they started in 2013. Sometimes the frost wipes them out. They have no fruit. Or there's no, the pink ones are peach. The white ones are pear. And the apples, I believe, have not bloomed yet. Or I don't keep up with them enough. I haven't been here in a few weeks. So they might have got hit by the frost. But I'm thinking about taking cuttings from all of these and going by Dad's chart that he drew years ago, and I'll know exactly which kind is what. Sometimes when you buy them at Lowe's, you'll get a surprise years later and find out it wasn't the type that the label said it was, or at some of these little side road places you'll find some trees here and there, but usually you go to a reputable garden center and they stake their reputation on what it really is. But I've got the chart and know from the real proof, according to Mom, of which tree did the best and which tree did what and had the right coinciding fruit for the cultivar of the peach or the pear or the apple, and which variety of each of those three. And so I'm thinking about taking cuttings and starting them in, and it'll take about one season just for my little ones to get started, and then I'll roll them out in a field, and I don't know what I'll do with it. I'll at least save a couple of each one and get them going over in the field somewhere so I can bush hog in between them. And then I might grow some of them and sell some of them too. I haven't decided yet. It's just maybe going to be an experiment. So this video didn't show them too good, but I wanted to keep this on April the 4th, 2021, and see the size of them and remember the story of how long it took to get them to where they are now. And that's about all I can tell you today about fruit trees.